Welcome to Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. I'm Dr. Daniel Potts.
And I'm Edie Hand.
We've got a good show today, Edie, a very inspiring show.
Yes, and I know it's with a dear friend of yours.
Absolutely. Buddy Causey, an internationally famous blues musician who got his start in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
I know that area well, my neck of the woods, yeah.
Buddy actually has an amazing story because he was afflicted by a stroke several years ago, and I actually met him at that time. I was Buddy's neurologist. And don't worry, we're not breaking any laws. I'm not revealing anything Buddy would not want me to say. But he was afflicted by a stroke that caused him several symptoms, and one of them, Edie, was that he lost his ability to sing.
I know that was so tragic for him.
It was. And I wasn't able to really tell him, Buddy, I think you're going to get your voice back. But what happened is an incredible miracle, and I'm going to let Buddy tell us about that.
Wow, that's going to be amazing. And I tell you, I was in the kitchen right here at Dale Smith Thomas' home with Sarah Webb, and we were cooking up some strawberry cake, and it will make your mouth water and slap your grandma at the same time.
My goodness gracious, where is my piece?
I'll make you one, baby.
Well, we certainly hope that you'll stay with us for this show. You will be inspired, and you will want some of that cake.
Absolutely.
When we talk about
it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by Boyette Health Services of Alabama, offering complete medical and dental care.
If you woke up with pain this morning, you are not alone. Estimates are that nearly 1/3 of Americans will experience chronic pain at some point in their lives. Optimal Pain Control by Franklin Pharmacy works directly with your physician to create a pain cream for your unique needs. Our staff of pharmacists has over 30 years experience in compounding. OPC by Franklin Pharmacy's custom formulas are created for you to maximize pain relief while minimizing side effects. From minor aches to severe neuropathic pain, let us be your partner.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand. A portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. A Pocket Guide for the Alzheimer's Caregiver by Dr. Daniel Potts and his wife Ellen helps you understand this disease and get the best care possible. Go to alzpocketguide.com or any online bookstore for your copy.
There's an art to making tea. At Red Diamond, it begins with tea leaves and nothing else. We remove the stems and twigs that come with the tea, leaving just the leaf for a flavorful, refreshing taste. There's an art to making the perfect pitcher of tea, and we practice it every day. Drink fresh. Drink Red Diamond.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Welcome back to Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. I'm Dr. Daniel Potts with my co-hostess Edie Hand, and we've got a very, very special show for you today, and we've got a celebrity with us today, Mr. Buddy Causey. Buddy, how in the world are you doing?
Man, I couldn't be better.
Buddy Causey is not only a celebrity and a musician, but he is a friend, and Buddy has got a story to tell us today that I think is really going to inspire all of you out there. And Buddy, I really am so glad that you joined us on the show today. We're not too far from your home up here in Tennessee today.
Correct.
And Buddy, I think the thing to do today would be to start out, and if you wouldn't mind, just tell the folks a little bit about who Buddy Causey is, how you got your start, and how people would know you.
Well, man, I started singing when I was in college in Jacksonville, Alabama, and should I give dates or not?
You can give dates if you want to. That's all right.
I started recording in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now in 2000 I didn't get that first 10 years, but I just got through with another project a month ago.
Buddy, tell me sort of who was influential in your early singing days, sort of who mentored you and who just kind of discovered you and got you out there.
Man, I discovered Ray Charles, which just made me discover the love of music. I mean, I like music, but that took it to another whole place. Anybody, for some reason, that was black and blind, I love their singing.
Right.
So, and I'm still that way. So.
Now, I would guess you would say that your forte is blues.
Yes.
And those influential voices of that day, like Ray Charles, etc., were very powerful for you. But you've been all over the world singing. You've
Yes.
sung with some of the greatest blues musicians in this world. You've recorded. People can find you all over the place. I actually met you, Buddy, in the year 2007 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tell us a little bit about what happened in your career about that time.
Career or life?
Life and career.
Well, at the time I was not doing music. I had taken a sabbatical, something about needed to eat at the time. So I was outside of Chicago and I lifted something up and I had an unusual stroke, but it floored me. And then I finally was able to come back to Tuscaloosa, where I met this guy named Dr. Potts, and we started a patient/friend relationship back then. And
absolutely.
You kept me going, Doc, that's all I can tell you.
Buddy Causey came along at a time in my life when I was going through a lot as well. As a matter of fact, my father, Lester, had just died of Alzheimer's disease a month or two before Buddy had his stroke. And Buddy happened to come to me to seek neurologic care, referred from Chicago, and that's where I met this amazing man. Buddy's life changed there, as many people's life change when they have an event like a stroke. And we're going to tell you, when we come back on this program, what Buddy has done with the rest of his life and how the hand of God has touched this man and given him an inspirational story to tell you. And we want you to not go away, because you're getting ready to hear about what Buddy Causey has done in the past few years. Stay tuned.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by The Vein Guys. Better legs, better life.
Fresh and flavorful. That's Red Diamond tea. It tastes that way because it's made that way. Every day we brew our tea fresh from tea leaves, not mixes or powders. Made fresh and delivered fresh to your grocery, ready to drink. There's an art to making the perfect glass of iced tea, and we practice it every day. Drink fresh. Drink Red Diamond.
Hi, I'm Sarah Evans here with friends Rollins and Kumar, who've been helping Children's of Alabama celebrate its 100th birthday. They're here for care at the Alabama Center for Childhood Cancer and Blood Disorders, the largest provider of cancer care for children and young adults in the state. At Children's, we treat every form of cancer, and we're committed to a cure. You can be too. Donate now so thousands of kids like Rollins and Kumar will celebrate lots of birthdays, including their own.
Hi, I'm Edie Hand.
And I'm Ronnie McDowell.
And I'm Georgette Jones.
Together, we'd love to ask you to support the Children's Miracle Network Children's Hospital.
That's right, Edie. Your local children's hospital provides state-of-the-art care, life-saving research, and preventative education for children 24 hours a day.
And we need your support to continue helping make life better for others. Just log on to childrensmiraclenetwork.org. We believe together we can have those miracles.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Welcome back to Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. I'm Dr. Daniel Potts, here with our co-hostess Edie Hand and our special guest, Mr. Buddy Causey. Welcome back, Buddy.
Thank you, brother man.
For those of you who just tuned in, Buddy Causey is an internationally known blues musician. He's toured all over the world. He knows some of the most famous musicians out there. And Buddy had a life-changing event that happened to him in 2007, and that's where we'll pick the story up. Buddy had a stroke, didn't you, Buddy?
Yes, sir.
If you can look back, Buddy, on that time and tell us a little bit about, in some more detail, what you experienced, what symptoms you had, and how you felt that day that you had the stroke.
Well, I was going to fly back for the first time in about a month to see my family, and it was about 4:35 in the morning. I had to drive to Chicago. And I got out and I was putting something up. And when I did, it felt like somebody hit me in the head with a shovel. And then the condo where I was staying was this direction. And when I'd try to walk that way, I went this way. And I finally got on my hands and knees and crawled in the snow and got my other suitcase and brought it back out, and then this is going to be gross, but once I got in the car, I was still going to try to drive Chicago. I thought I had the flu. I couldn't stop throwing up. So I finally called 911, and they put me in the hospital. So that was kind of the symptoms leading up.
You were at, I believe, if I'm not wrong, you were at Loyola Medical Center in Chicago. Is that right?
Yes.
And you had some really, really good medical care there. I happen to know and respect some of the physicians that took care of you there at Loyola, and they treated you, I'm sure, very appropriately and with respect and compassion. I want to step back here and talk a little bit about, for those of you that may not know, what a stroke is, what does that word mean, and what are some of the common symptoms that we might have if we're having a stroke. A stroke really is a brain attack, and we have a way of comparing stroke to heart attack because in many ways they're similar conditions. Both of them usually involve a blood vessel. In the case of a heart attack, it's a blood vessel to your heart or one of the coronary arteries. In the case of a stroke, it's a blood vessel that goes to your brain. This blood vessel usually becomes narrow or blocked. And because of that blockage, part of your brain does without blood flow. And when your brain does without blood flow, those nerve cells, those brain cells, cannot go very long without blood flow and oxygen and nutrients. So if this blood flow is shut off long enough, it kills a part of the brain. And this can be just a few minutes, actually. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have a blood clot that is dissolved after it forms, then you may not have a stroke. You might have what we call a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack. Now, this TIA is going to be a stroke if it lasts long enough, but if it goes away within, usually within the 20 or 30 minutes, but certainly within the first day, then you don't have a stroke, you have a TIA, and you're fortunate because that is a warning sign that you might have a stroke in the future. So a blood vessel gets blocked with a blood clot. If it's blocked long enough, brain tissue dies and you have a stroke, and you're left with a permanent injury to some extent. Although, as Buddy can tell you in a minute and will tell us, with rehabilitation and time and God's grace, many of these symptoms can get much better and actually go away. Now, you heard the symptoms of Buddy's stroke, which included imbalance, veering to one side, some visual disturbances, some speech disturbances, and some nausea, headache. These are common symptoms of stroke, as are these. Sudden loss of vision, especially in one eye and half of your visual field, for instance, completely to the left or completely to the right. Sudden inability to speak. Inability to get your words out, right, Buddy? Inability to get your words out. Think of what you want to say but can't get them out. Inability to understand what someone is saying to you. Sudden weakness or numbness on half of your body or face. A headache, like Buddy had. Sudden imbalance. Vertigo, which is a spinning or movement sensation. Sudden nausea associated with these other symptoms. These are some of the common symptoms of stroke. And actually, there's a kind of stroke that's a bleeding stroke, Buddy. It's a cerebral hemorrhage. And those can really be bad and catastrophic and can result in death. Most strokes, though, like Buddy had, do not result in death. They just give you a disability. And time is brain. That's a statement that I want to really emphasize for you all. Time is brain. In other words, if you have these symptoms, you or someone has to call 911 and you have to get to the nearest emergency department because stroke can be treated with medications that dissolve blood clots. So, the American Stroke Association and the American Heart Association and the American Academy of Neurology can help more with stroke symptoms. But Buddy had a particular kind of stroke. You see, I happened to meet Buddy about that time, and we sort of established a doctor-patient relationship. I was in Tuscaloosa at that time, still am, and Buddy was referred from Loyola Medical Center. I walked into your room, Buddy, and I actually felt overwhelmed because, number one, I was meeting a celebrity. Number two, he had been taken care of by a wonderful neurologist in Chicago whose books I'd read. And number three, my own dad had just passed away, so I was not in a very good state of mind. And I came in and met this inspiring man. So, Buddy, tell me a little bit about what happened to you after the stroke and how you rehabbed and how you got better.
Well, the biggest thing was I turned my life. I went to a church that just loved me so much that I couldn't help but go back, and I started reading the Bible more. When I lost my voice, I prayed to God if He'd just let me have my voice, let me sing again. I would do music for Him, and I'd tell people my story, which is what I'm doing right now. And so I started recording up here with a friend of mine, Blue Miller, and I did one song, and can you say suck on television?
I think so.
All right, well, I sucked. I could just hardly do it. And then I came back about a year later, and we cut that first night, and I was ready to quit. And Blue had just taken, you know, they'll cut a bunch of things, and then, anyway, he pieced it together, and it sounded pretty good. So it gave me a little confidence. And then the next day, we went full tilt. So anyway, we ended up doing an album over the next year, and now I just released it. It's like Little Feat meets Jesus. It's funky. It's got a little bit of everything, but it's true in the word as far as it tells about real things. It tells about stuff that happened in my life that were real.
The name of this album is Well Done?
Well Done, My Son.
Well Done, My Son, and that's a title cut off this album. This album, folks, is amazing, and it speaks to inspiration, it speaks to overcoming, it speaks to grace. And folks that have a disability out there, whether it's from stroke or whatever, you can overcome.
Yes.
And you can push through this. And go out there and listen to Buddy Causey. Google Buddy Causey and you'll be inspired. My brother, I appreciate you being on the show today.
Brother, man.
And you got to come back and sing for us sometime.
Absolutely love to.
We appreciate you tuning in to Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles, and we hope you will listen to us again. I'm Dr. Daniel Potts for Edie Hand. Thank you.
You used the strength of my power, my words covered your life. Well done, my son.
Brought to you in part by Windsor Essex Economic Development Corporation. One region, countless opportunities.
Hey Alabama, guess who's turning 40? Scott Crump Toyota. Come celebrate our 40th anniversary as we race to sell a record 140 vehicles. Drive new 2012 Corollas, $179 a month, or new Camrys, $199 a month. Zero down delivers, 0% financing available. Plus, make no payments till fall. Come celebrate 40 years in business and join us in the winner's circle as we race to sell a record 140 vehicles. At Scott Crump Toyota,
We'll do whatever it takes.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand. A portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. A Pocket Guide for the Alzheimer's Caregiver by Dr. Daniel Potts and his wife Ellen helps you understand this disease and get the best care possible. Go to alzpocketguide.com or any online bookstore for your copy.
Hi, I'm Edie Hand, here for Scott Crump Toyota in Jasper. Scott and I have teamed up to bring a program to your community to encourage and educate children on the importance of mentorship and self-esteem. Visit our websites. Hi, I'm Edie Hand with Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. And joining me is two good friends, Jeff Godfrey and Tim Aaron, who is the founder of Optimal Pain Control. This cream really works. It's helped me with my pain, and it can you. OPCRX.com.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Hi, I'm Edie Hand, and welcome into Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. Well, we're in our kitchen today here at our good friend Dale Smith Thomas's house, and I've got my friend Sarah too with me, and she's also our food stylist. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us.
Thank you for letting me share, Edie.
Well, you've got a good recipe. Not only are you're great at styling food, but I know you like food styling, right?
I do. I love to decorate cakes, turkeys, anything, doesn't matter.
Well, and I know your granddaughters love it. I've enjoyed seeing you entertain with those kids. Well, this recipe everybody's going to enjoy. It's called strawberry cake.
It's a strawberry cake.
It's easy.
It's very easy. It's from a cake mix, white cake mix. And
let's get going, girl.
Put your cake mix in your bowl.
Here, I'll take this.
Okay.
I'm good at taking stuff.
You use a package of strawberry jello. That's where your strawberry flavoring is going to come in.
And as you put, this is fresh cut strawberries there too, isn't it?
Yes.
Or diced.
And I like to mix the Jell-O up a little bit in the mix before I do anything.
Okay.
Okay. And then
what do you got?
have 4 eggs.
4 eggs. Okay. Do you mix and go?
I mix and go. Cup of oil.
I like a real good dump and go.
I do too. You can do that. You can do that. I've just got a habit of doing
Well,
this
I want everybody to know that Sarah is. She's very good with styling our food for our different shows that we also have in our in the magazine of RFD magazine. And that's good. We don't want to always. There we go. This is television, so it won't be quite in that order of what we're doing. But we also. Okay, Sarah, that's all right. That means I get to eat it, Sarah.
That's right.
Anyway,
Okay.
we also will have this on rxhealthylife.com.
Okay. Then you put about a cup of strawberries in. If you wanted a little bit more, you can do that. Just sort of fold those in.
Okay. And then what's next?
And next we have our frosting. It is.
Well, let me take this, Sarah. Hang on a second. Hold this. Hand that to me, if you would.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now this is what, when you mix this, you put it in a standard, what is that, about a 9-inch pan?
9-inch pan.
A couple of those, and you cook it for 350 degrees?
350.
How long,
and
usually?
I use 3 pans, so I cut the time down to about 10 minutes. If you want to cook it in 2 pans, you do more.
Okay.
Then you just mix the cream cheese up.
Okay.
You add a box of infection sugar and mix that up.
All right, hang on, let me help you.
I got it. Okay.
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 All right.
And you mix that up really good, and then you fold in.
We'll just show them how to do it, because I'm going to show them the final results of it.
Okay.
Okay. Now you just fold that in.
Let's mix all that up.
That's okay. We'll wait just a minute.
Okay.
So if we put that in, all right. How many minutes do you just kind of fold it in?
Just mix it up really good.
Now, you do that with 3 layers, so it has a lot of icing in it. And again, I want to remind our viewers that this will be on prescription, which is rxhealthylife.com. Right. We have all of our recipes, and I'm trying to speak over your little doogie there. You want to cut that off?
I will. And then you fold in Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
That's what gives it this fluffy.
All right. I want everybody to look at the cake, at the results of what it's going to look like, how pretty it is.
And if you want to add more strawberries, you can add more strawberries.
That's
to the frosting.
beautiful, and that's making it pretty. So we thank you, Sarah, for coming on and being such a great food stylist. But this dessert is a fun dessert, strawberry cake, and you have strawberries, you've got blueberries and blackberries and grapes, and it just makes for a fun dip or a fun cake. So join us next week and see what we've got happening right here on Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. Let's get into this. Here we go.